I'm Tim Hooper.
And I'm Mike Gandolfo.
And this is The Trust Factor,
where high touch
plus high tech
multiplied by high trust
equals the real estate professional's formula for success.
All right, everybody. Mike Gandolfo here with Tim Hooper.
Yes, that's right.
As I told you earlier, Tim, I'm being held together right now by caffeine and sugar. You're going to get this a couple weeks later, but we were recording during Derby week, and I am Kentucky Derby week, and I am overly involved with this 2-minute horse race. So I got my, I had to, and I want to tell you about what I had to do. We couldn't record it on a Saturday like we normally do because I was working the marathon. You're a marathon runner. How many marathons have you ran?
9. Working on
9
10.
full marathons. And
I'm
not
on my 50-state
yet.
journey, but nothing like my buddy Jack Daly. He's done 100 in all continents, several countries in every state.
Can I tell you, you'll respect this then. Saturday after our marathon was over. So our mini marathon's really popular, but the marathon is growing. Okay. And I know when I step up into the leadership role that you're going to come do the Kentucky Marathon, which is fantastic. Can't wait. Yeah. So I see one of my friends who's an elite runner.
Yep.
At an art fair, probably 3 hours after I got back from our marathon, right? She had ran Boston on Monday and turned around and ran ours on Saturday, and just walking around this
right.
Art fair, like, oh, it's no big deal. Just went out for my run. And then I heard that we had a 70-year-old man who
crazy
completed Boston, completed ours, and then like 3 weeks before Boston hit his, I guess it's this thing, there's only like 115 people have done it, completed a marathon in Antarctica. So he's ran on all 7 continents.
Yeah.
Just insane.
That's crazy. And there's a waiting list. Like, you
have
to be super intentional. Yes, there's a waiting list, and you gotta have met some serious criteria. So
okay. So you've been trying to get on this Antarctica?
No, that'll be after kids are grown and gone. That'll be like once I'm halfway through the U.S. states, then I might look at what it takes. But
yeah, all right.
Yeah,
I have no desire to run a marathon. I do not even it does nothing for me. I would much rather backpack for a couple of weeks or something like that.
Hey, that's
same kind of deal. And actually, I might be doing that sooner than later. I'm not 100% sure. Might be teasing that.
We're gonna hear all about it if you do.
Oh yeah, right. And could be like in 4 days. And I still don't know if I'm going yet. So, I wanted to tell you about Sally. So my job on marathon day was to be the dream crusher. So I had to drive 2 miles an hour, 3 miles an hour, whatever it was, for 26.2 miles
behind the line,
behind the last person. And basically, I was the person who said, hey, you're falling off pace too much. We're going to be opening up the road soon. You're not going to make it to the finish line before we close it. You've been working this hard. You're not going to get a medal. You're not going to get your finish line moment. You're not going to get any of it. Get on the sidewalk so you don't get hit by a car. That was my job. And, which I could do. It's not fun to do, obviously, to do that because people are out there and they're working hard. But maybe they didn't. Maybe that's why they're in the place that they were. I did run up to one guy who I thought this was amazing. He's like, hey, man, I know the drill. I got to get on the sidewalk. He's like, this is my 4th year running this marathon. The first year it took me 8 hours, and my whole goal is to eventually get there before you all close the finish line. I was like,
he does it every year, working towards that goal.
Yeah, he gets it.
Wow.
Right. So that's awesome. And we give them, race starts at 7 a.m. We had 13,000 runners. Race starts at 7 a.m. They close the finish line basically at 1:30. Technically, but they don't it's the last thing they actually take down. So might be 1:45, 2 o'clock before it's really gone. So they get a long time. I feel like to complete it. Is that normal 6 hours? I mean, that's a pretty good long time. 6.5 hours.
That's a long. You could fast walk it at that point.
Yeah. So anyway, we're coming out of this really hilly part. We have this park here called Iroquois Park, and I drive up next to Sally. Sally is a lady. She's probably in her mid to late 50s. She is she's right on it. Like and I said, I pulled up to her, didn't know her name obviously at the first little bit. I was like, hey, you're about halfway, and if you slow down too much, I got to pull you off the route just so you can adjust your pace. And she locked in, man. It was like the power of the made up mind. She locked in. She just settled into this pace. Like she just changed her pace, but it was so consistent. Her pace was so consistent.
Jogging or
jog?
Was she still?
Yeah.
Was she still running?
It was a
like
good
good
little bit. So I mean, I think she had to basically go at like a 13-minute mile pace. So it's faster than a walk, but not quite you're not running.
Gotcha.
So she nailed it. She was right on pace. She got to the finish line. And what I was struck by was towards the end of the race, because I'm basically following her the rest of the way in. And is that she started passing people.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I was like, hey, and I was like, if you can do it, you need to stay with Sally. Sally's your pacer. Sally's the person who's like, she's the one who's basically on pace to be at you got to stay with Sally. I gave everyone the target to stay with Sally. She just consistently, boom, boom, hit the pace.
Did she pull some people with her? Did she pull a group around her?
She had some of the people, like she didn't know that because she didn't know what I was telling everyone else, but they were like, okay, I gave them a goal. It was able to push it. And the thing that was interesting to me is I'm sitting here just thinking of the tortoise and the hare, the people who got out there and maybe sprinted a little bit too fast, too early, and now they're really hurting. They're dealing with stuff, but not Sally. Just hit her pace, hit her stride, consistent, consistent, mile after mile, step after step, every stride, just consistent. And then it made me think, so I'm going to say this quote, and I want to hear what triggers in you. There's a Navy SEAL mantra that I'm guessing you've heard before. Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. You ever heard that before?
I have.
Yeah.
Jocko.
Jocko has it in his book. I haven't. Yep. Jocko annoys me a little bit, so I can't. I doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah, so, I get it.
Yeah. So,
but he's beast. But yes.
Yeah.
Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. It comes from the Latin Festina Lente.
Oh,
which is make haste slowly. So the Romans, the centurions, Festina Lente was it was Stoic. It was the Stoic wisdom of the time. And the entire legion was Festina Lente. Make haste slowly. You can't outrun your supply chain. You can't outgrow your roots as an oak tree. Make haste slowly. So the SEALs have taken it from the Romans, essentially.
And I'm pretty sure I heard it before Jocko even wrote his book, because I used to say it to my basketball teams early on when I was coaching: slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Because what I hear is John Wooden in the back of my head. If you don't have time to do it right, when are you going to have time to do it over? How do you make sure that you execute where it's flawless, smooth execution with your process, so that you don't come up and hit something that's going to knock you backwards and put you in a situation that actually slows you down because you were trying to go too fast. And it really struck me, because I've had a couple of my agents recently make mistakes because they were trying to go through the process too fast. And this kind of just really just struck me a little bit about, hey, slow down, believe in your process.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy? Like, whenever there's a challenge in a transaction, or there's a challenge with something, it's because someone did not trust the process they had in place. They took a shortcut, right? So,
dude, so many good things. I'm right now working with our team. It's like I keep telling our regional guys that the flywheel is in, like, dude, we've felt the surge, like, boom. I mean, numbers swelling. new recruits on board, like team growth, energy is great. I mean, 3rd year of our massive conference you were at, Mike. And I will tell you, every next level is the hardest level. Every next level is the hardest level, because what happens is what got you here worked so well, you stop doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You did it for a little while, and now it's like you're up against that taper off point. Like, can we keep doing this? You haven't figured out how to scale what got you here. So now it feels like, oh, we can't get to the next level. The next level is going to take a different way of thinking about how to evolve what we're doing, to do it, but to do it better and at scale. And so what I'm realizing and what we're drilling down on right now is it worked so well, we stopped doing it. And we're just looking at all of the gaps that we've tapered off. Somewhere we got tired, we tapered off, and we had to be honest. What about that prohibited us from being consistent? What about it? It's not you. You're not the problem. You're a person. You're one. Like, addressing that, like, for instance, Sally, it's like you had to identify a gap, and then she was like, okay, I'm going to plug that gap. It was a speed gap, but then she locked into smooth, and she's starting to pass people. And I think the same goes in our business. We surge out there. Some of those people she passed may have been 20 minutes ahead of her at one point in the race.
A lot of them are a lot younger than she was.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Oh, I'll tell you, I've been passed. In fact, one of my favorite marathons is Phoenix.
No, you're the old man who passes young people. I understand.
I wish, but this one was not true. I was at mile 23, Mike, and panting. And like, I need to walk. My hip flexors acting up. And once you start walking as a runner, don't walk. Because if you start walking, it's almost like impossible. Well, it's not impossible, but it feels impossible to start running again. So you just want to keep
the biggest hurdles to get started and to get back into the motion.
To get back into the motion. So
yep, this is exactly why we're talking about this.
Yep. So I'm just like, okay, just slow down, but just keep the motion, keep the muscle memory. And I'll never forget this 57-year-old lady, Leisha, still good friends to this day. In fact, she brought me in. We did some work together. She brought me on as a coach for her team. It surprised me after. Like, you don't want this. But she's like, you could do it. So she paced with me just for a minute. And because of that belief, I surged, and we ended up finishing the race together. All the race photos, it's her and me. We took a picture at the end. She's from like way across the world. And, but anyway, we got to talking. And for the last 3 minutes, we just talked. And between huffs, took my mind off it. But, and to your point with Sally, that's what I was asking. Was there like a group forming behind her she didn't even realize? Because your smooth is, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Did I say that right?
Yep. Slow, smooth,
yep.
Smooth is fast.
Yep. And that whole process, as you're doing it, your head's down, you're focusing on your processes. You're going to light the way for so many others. That's why I'm looking like the cohorts I pull together. I'm looking for the quiet, the one who gets their homework in. They're not the most effervescent right off the bat. Some of them are. Some have the effervescence and the consistency. It's there, but don't underestimate the Sallys for sure. So you were thinking of something when I said slowing down and not getting out of the rhythm. So what?
Well, I mean, I think what you just said is like every single time someone stops doing what got them there, like getting started with that thing again, where you started to walk and now you need to run again, getting back started. It is like, it's so much more difficult than even the way you started the first time. And right. I was at this conference that I was speaking at a couple of weeks ago, and I had dinner. One of the ladies was there. She's like, "Can I join you for dinner?" I was like, "Yeah." And I talking about this very thing. She was like, she was doing all the relational work, and it got her to a point where she was doing about 50 transactions a year, which for a real estate agent, that's humming. No matter what market you're in, that's a great business. And then she had some hiccups in life. She had, I'm not going to get into them too much, but then she had trouble kind of getting back to that in that neighborhood of where she wanted to be. And so she was at this conference because she's trying to figure out what's the new tech, what's the new AI thing that she's missing of why she can't get back to where she is. And I said, so what were you doing lead generation wise, knowing well and good, because I actually know her broker. I said, what were you doing lead generation wise that got you to those deals in the past?
Mm.
And then I was like, okay, so you're avoiding doing the stuff that you know got you there, that worked, and you're looking for this magic pill and this technology piece. Now, at the same time, as we talk about this and we know how important technology is to this show, if we're really honed in to that process, well, now we can speed up the slow in a way that still honors the process using the technology.
Right.
And this is, to me, is so essential to correctly using whichever tech tool that you're going to use, is making sure you're dialed into what the process and where the gap in the process is and where you can be more efficient.
What you just said is powerful, but here's where technology should fit in. Technology should make your flow, your business process, your consistencies smoother. If slow is smooth, then technology has to fit into the smooth. And here's what I find: technology is making everyone choppy. Meaning we're trying this, then we're trying that, then we're trying this, and it's making us fast, and we're fast and choppy. So technology, here's what it is: slow down, stick with one thing, one platform, one thing you develop and create. Stick with it long enough to see traction happen, at least to get feedback. Whether it's bad or good doesn't matter. You need to stick with one thing long enough. Be slow with your tech. You need to adopt tech, but be slow enough with it to get feedback to say that doesn't work or it does work for my business process. But if you can't identify what makes your life smoother, you're just going to be faster and choppier. So that's where I like to say, Mike, if technology doesn't buy us life back, if you can't breathe easier because of technology, then it has it doesn't work for you. Like we have to get radically honest with ourselves. Go look at the studies right now. How many real estate agents have gone to every social media class, every reels making class, because they wanted to dominate the content game, because content is king, and content. And look how many are just stressed. They're not pleasant to be around. They're stressed. And how much mental health are we looking at right now with all of the statistics coming out around social media and addiction and just the doom scrolling? Fast is choppy. And if you're constantly boom, just you're losing meaning. You're losing. I like the gentleman out of Harvard. I forget his name.
I know exactly.
If I gave you his name.
Yeah,
glasses,
Albert.
Thank you. I forget his last name. My kids have seen his stuff. I've seen his stuff. But he's all about
just did
meaning.
an incredible talk with Ed
happiness.
Milet, by the way. Yes.
Okay. And he was on with Dave Ramsey and John Falcons, the coach over at Entre Leadership. And
he's done stuff with Ken Coleman. Yes. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
We'll look up his last
Albert
name.
Brooks. Albert Brooks.
Thank
right?
you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Brooks. It was so simple. I love his whole process of you have to first find the meaning in what you're doing, because that's going to derive happiness. That's going to derive satisfaction. And that's where if you're not moving at a pace that your soul can keep up with your body, you're going to lose the meaning piece. Pure and simple.
By the way, it's Arthur Brooks, not Albert Brooks. Arthur Brooks.
Oh, Arthur. There you go. Sorry, Arthur.
Yeah, it was my fault. I'm the one who said Albert. Albert Brooks is a comedian.
I forgot his name.
Arthur Brooks, and yeah, his stuff is everywhere right now, and he's good Catholic guy. So the
there you go.
Yeah. So you're talking, and we're talking about using technology as a tool, as a teammate, and making sure that. And so while you're talking, I'm like, okay, so technology is a rolling pin, not one of the chopper things. It's not a food processor. It's a rolling pin. How can we make technology a rolling pin? And what does the rolling pin do to the dough? It stretches it, right? Stretches it, smooths it out. And I like that. I like that a lot.
Can we like flash up a picture of you in your apron making pizza right now? I mean, is that possible?
I love it. I love it.
Oh, that's great. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast, and getting into your groove again is harder. And by the way, if you've fallen out of your groove, like the lady you were talking about, Mike, who's doing the 50 transactions, if you've fallen out of your groove, stick around, because we're not all about the flashy here. We're all about high touch plus high tech. And none of that matters unless you can multiply it by high trust. So you have to, if you've fallen out of your groove, something's happened to you. Life has wounded you. Somebody's hurt you. Somebody's walked away, betrayal. Like, I know this on both sides. And I'll tell you, it takes intention and it takes an acceptance that this is hard and I'm okay with that. This is hard. To get back in my groove's hard, and I'm okay with that. And being honest like that really can unlock your next groove for you. I mean, just ask Alicia, this 57-year-old who ran me in Phoenix. She helped me get back in the groove. And, I'm always grateful for those people, those shoulder companions. And by the way, if you need this little bit of inspiration, you getting back in your groove, you just stepping it up, like getting locked in, is absolutely going to inspire people around you.
Well, and that's where I think about the guy who ran in Antarctica at 7 years old. He's not there if he's not locked into his groove. If he doesn't know how that slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And now, and that's the thing too, like the inspiration, it could happen in the moment. Like it could, and you might have inspire a couple people because you're, in your race and you're got a couple, but it's like the collective amount of times that you show up that way, and eventually you're the person who's the story because you're completing a marathon in Antarctica.
Yeah.
When you're slow is smooth and you're smooth is fast, you're gonna do big things if those things are moving you in the direction of what you want to create.
That's powerful.
So
Festina Lente.
Yeah, I love it.
Haste slowly.
All right, this episode's for Alicia and Sally.
Bam.
So there it is.
And for Arthur.
Yes, Arthur, not Albert Brooks. We'll see you next time on The Trust Factor. The Trust Factor podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts. You can even watch us on YouTube.
And subscribe to the channel so you can comment and drop your questions and share it with your team.